Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the GOAT, and here is one of my first playthroughs on the new map Hazard. And this is a reskin map, as you guys know, of Cliffside, and which was one of my favorite maps. And one thing I've noticed about the new maps in general, I'm sure all you guys have noticed as well, is the amount of ghost users. But anyway, here's my opening route. In World at War, I always like to get over to this area, the Cliffside area, and one of the main reasons is I have sight lines into their spawn. And also in World at War, it hasn't really played out this way so far from what I've seen. Maybe that'll change a little later as the maps get more play to them and they're integrated into the Ground War playlist. But everybody would group up in the mausoleum in World at War, and that's directly behind me in that building straight across that you can look through on the cliffside. And that hasn't really played out with my first couple playthroughs on the maps. And my thoughts on the maps in general, I don't really like them. I mean, picture-wise, like the graphics, they look great, but so far, the way that they're just play out, the way that everybody seemed to play them so far, I'm just not a fan of them. And I haven't had much luck. And one of the reasons I wanted to post this game is it's a TDM, and that is what I always used to play. I was mainly a TDM player until I discovered Ground War, in Black Ops. But anyway, I just don't play slow anymore, and sometimes I struggle in TDM because I'm in such a rush to get as many kills as I possibly can, and I'm never aimed down the sights as I come around a corner like I was right there. And TDM, which was always in my mind the easiest game type, has become slightly challenging to me. And I'd like to start playing a little more 6-on-6 TDM. I know this isn't 6-on-6 TDM. This is a Ground War TDM, but I've still noticed that the best, at least way for me to play TDM is play a little slower because people aren't as objective. There's no objective to be, rushing at, and people are going to play slower and play a little more tactically. And in Ground War Domination, you guys see me. I mean, when I spawn, I pull my pistol out. I'm always sprinting around the board, always in like a dead rush. And I've been thinking to myself, for what? Like, why am I always charging around with like not much of a plan? And I think one of the reasons I've had a lot of success so far in my few playthroughs of Hazard is I've been using that old route from World at War, and that is one of the things that I'd like to tell you guys to help you guys out, is kind of come up with some sort of preset routes that you can run. And it's really helpful once you get familiar with the route that you run. You kind of can get a feel for the tendencies and the locations of where the enemies can come from, and that really helps my game. I mean, that is one of the best ways I think to get better at posting good scores, is kind of come up with a strategy for every map that you can kind of fall back on. And I'm still guilty of straying from those routes because it kind of gets a little boring playing this map the same way every time. But when I'm running around with no plan in mind, sometimes it works out, but sometimes it doesn't. So it's really good to just have kind of that backup plan, that comfort zone that you can go to and kind of move around the map the way that you're familiar of moving. And just some tips on Hazard in general. I mean, this map is huge, and the way that it's played out so far, there's so many ghost users and snipers, and I mean, I'd stick to the outskirts on this map. I mean, that middle fairway area where the long sight lines are, the snipers are pretty much hard scoped down the sight lines. So I mean, you're pretty much forced to stick to the outskirts of the map. So it really works out well on this map to pick a long-range weapon and kind of just flank, or any assault rifle for that matter, and just continue to flank towards their spawn. But yeah, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on the new map. So far, as I've said, I'm not really a big fan of them, and maybe that'll change. It kind of seems like with the community, when the maps first come out, everybody just slaps on Ghost and goes post up in the nearest building or corner that they spawn in. But I don't know. Hopefully it gets a little better. But yeah, the maps, I mean, they look nice. So hopefully they start playing a little better for me, and I can get some more content out. But yeah, tell me what you guys thought about this gameplay. It's pretty choppy because when I was in the chopper gunner, everybody quit. And that's another thing I've noticed. The new maps, there's so many more dashboarders and quitters, and it's just a real pain. But that's it. I think the final score is like 44-2. But I don't know. I'll try and get another game out tomorrow, maybe another TDM or something. Peace.